When I did my video on Transformers the movie 1986, my history with the film, I talked about one of the ways I could have saw it when it first came out on the big screen. And that was through the drive-in theater known as the Union City Drive-In, or Union City Drive 6. Now, I'm not saying that drive-in theaters don't exist anymore. They still do. They're very limited all across the country, but they still are around. There are some that are practically, I would say, 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from where I live, or from where I work, that show movies that come out as recently as last year and this year. But for me, and many that grew up in the Bay Area, mostly around the Hayward and Fremont regions, the Union City Drive-In was a special place to us. Because the way it was set up, you could end up watching one movie that you and your family were planning to go see, in that while you were in the back of the seat of the car, you, your siblings, your cousins, whoever, you could turn around and right behind you was another screen, and you could see an entirely different movie while you and your family were watching the one you came to see and paid for. A good example of this for me and my family, from our experience at the Union City Drive-In, was when we went to go see La Bamba. We went to go see La Bamba when it came out in 1987, and as we were sitting there in our car, I think it was our orange Toyota at the time, I can remember very well that, if not distinctly, turning around because, being a kid of 8 years old, I wasn't too invested in La Bamba. I turned around and behind me was another screen. And on that screen, believe it or not, was playing Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie. A movie that honestly I wanted to see more than La Bamba. And by kind of turning my head a few times, going back and forth between films, I got to watch a bit of the Masters of the Universe movie on the big screen. Even though I couldn't really hear it or hear what they were saying, I got to see the movie in some form, if you will, or in some way. Another thing about the Union City Drive-In that is very nostalgic to me, and I think a lot of people that went to a drive-in like it, if not went to the drive-in in Union City, California, was the fact that, like I mentioned, if you put your windows down, of course you had to put your windows down to put the speakers in your car so you can listen to the movie. But at times, if the speakers were loud enough for the other movies, there were times you could distinctly hear the other movie playing. Not only see it while you were attending and watching another movie, but you could also distinctly, in the distance, hear somewhat of what the other movie that you probably were more invested in or you found intriguing was saying, what the characters were saying on screen. And that was one of the nostalgic appeals about the Union City Drive-In, was the opportunity to do that. Another thing about the Union City Drive-In, and this is if you were old enough and your parents trusted you, you didn't have to actually watch the movie you and your family all went to and paid to see, or your parents paid to see and had to take you with them to see it. No. If they trusted you and you were old enough and very mature and responsible, they would let you go and actually, and this is no lie, actually go sit in an area or stand in an area that had a very good visual as well as good hearing, if you will, or sound, I should say. And if they felt you were responsible and mature enough, they would let you go and watch that movie. They would actually let you go and watch that movie. You didn't have to watch the movie, like I said, that they had paid for you to see. You could actually go and watch the movie you wanted to see or you found more intriguing and interesting. I mean, this goes back to what I said when me and my family went to go see La Bamba. You know, right behind us, Masters of the Universe was playing. And I would have loved nothing more than to go watch that and listen to that and hear what they were saying than watch La Bamba. And of course, like I said, I was like 7 years old going on 8. So, to me, Masters of the Universe, a He-Man movie, was more appealing, live action or not, more appealing to my child brain at that time, my childlike brain at the time, than La Bamba. But La Bamba wasn't the only movie we saw there. There were many movies we saw. Too many to count. We saw The Fox and the Hound there, I believe. Well, we saw our share of Disney films when we were young, and family films when we were young, we were there. The only thing that kind of held us back from going there on a constant basis was we had to get in the car and drive from wherever we lived, whether it was in Hayward, Fremont, Newark, wherever. We had to hop in the car, get on the freeway, get to the location, get to the turnoff, where you had to, basically we had to get on the freeway to get on the turnoff that led to the theater, or led to the drive-in. But again, like I said, for anybody that attended a place like the Union City Drive-In, Union City Drive 6 as it was called, that was the appeal, that was the attraction, that you got, that what you were doing was the fact that you were going on an adventure, on a journey to see something, as a family. Now, here's the thing. The last time I was at the Union City Drive-In, I can distinctly recall, was around the late 80s, early 90s. It was about around 89, between 89 and 91, and that was about it. Because at that time, my family started to think better about, how we go and see and attend movies. And all of a sudden, cinemas, even though they had popped up beforehand in various areas, indoor theaters, cinemas, were popping up now in places like the Southland Mall. They were popping up in places, places that were closer than the Southland Mall, all places that were, close to where we lived, things like that. They were popping up everywhere. And for me and my family, that became a more economical choice to go see movies. As a matter of fact, that's how I got to see a movie on my own for the first time, and that being DuckTales the movie. But I digress. And then later on, I think I saw Beauty and the Beast on my own. But again, I digress. But the point is, I got to go see movies on my own. The only reason being was the fact that my parents were with me, and they would see a movie knowing that I would be watching one on my own, and I'd be safe. I'd be all right. But nothing, ladies and gentlemen, can ever take away the fond memories me and my family have of the Union City Drive-In. I mean, the fact that here on YouTube, people actually have little video tributes to Union City Drive 6, Union City Drive-In. That people actually on the internet, through places like Cinema Treasures, talk about the Union City Drive-In. The Union City Drive-In, ladies and gentlemen, was one of the most historic, nostalgic, if not very down-to-earth, humble places you could go to for a while to sit back in the comfort of your own vehicle, maybe sit on the ground on a blanket and enjoy a film. Especially when it was during the summer. the memories, those kind of memories can never die. And like I said, for me, the most distinguished memory I have about the Union City Drive-In was 1987. And seeing, and by going to go see La Bamba, instead, I was more invested in the Masters of the Universe movie that was playing across from us on another big screen. And that was the one thing about the Union City Drive-In, and just like any drive-ins, even those that still exist today. You hop on the freeway, and if you had a bit of a slow up, guess what? If your slow up was in front of you, was in the path of you passing by the Union City Drive-In, or any kind of drive-in, even if it was for a brief few moments, you could catch a flick. You can catch a flick for just a brief few moments. You can see a little bit of a sneak peek of a movie people told you should see, or people are talking about. That was the appeal of the Union City Drive 6, Union City Drive-In, and any drive-in, like I said, that even exists today. Unfortunately, the Union City Drive-In doesn't share that distinction of being one of those drive-ins that exist today. Because while I was living in Kansas, 4 years after I moved back there, and basically the year that I graduated in 1998 was the last year the Union City Drive-In would be in business. For that was the year, apparently from what I understand, it closed down. Now I don't know what stands in front of it now. I'm guessing maybe a regular theater, I don't know. Maybe maybe businesses and homes, who knows. But to know that, like I said earlier, the last time I was at that drive-in was between late 89 and 91. Between the years of 89 and 91, I should say. It's unimaginable. It's hard to fathom. But when I think about the Union City Drive-In, the Union City Drive 6, I think of fond memories. I think of memories of being able to, like I said, turn your head around if you're in the back seat of a car and be able to see another movie while your family or your parents were enjoying something else. So, but like I said, memories like that, they never die, they stay with you. And for me, the memories of the Union City Drive-In, the Union City Drive 6 in Union City, California, stay with me for good. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any fond memories of drive-ins that you used to go to as kids that no longer are in business? And did any of you, if you lived here in California and in the Bay Area, attend and go to see a movie at the Union City Drive-In? Let me know down below, comment if you like, and I'll talk to you all later, guys, but I'd like to hear your fond memories. Peace out.